Hi everyone, welcome back to Italy. We're doing a lovely 15-minute Pilates session today in sitting. This is going to really fire up your middle, get your spine moving, and also work on our arm and shoulder strength a little bit as well. As usual, if we do anything that isn't right for you, just take it easy, take one of the adaptations that I give you and just do what suits you best. Feel free to rest as well throughout the exercises and just try and build it bit by bit. As ever, I love to hear how you get on as well, so please do let me know. We're going to start in our sitting correctly position. So I'd like you to have the weight going down evenly through your sitting bones, and you can bring your legs together into a long frog position. So you have your feet together and your knees apart. If you need to sit on a few cushions here, just to give you a little bit of extra height and help with your sitting in your hips, that's absolutely fine as well. So we're going to be here relaxing our legs out to the side, feeling how your middle is working to support your spine. Placing your hands onto your knees or onto your shins, and we'll just go into our lovely shoulder rolls. So bring your shoulders forward, up, back and around, and just enjoy this feeling here. Circling around just a couple more times. And now we're going to reverse the direction and go the other way. So depending on what you're doing, you might feel that there's lots of cricks and cracks going on there. You might feel really relaxed right now. Just two more and one more, and bring your shoulders down. Now we're going to start turning into our head turns. So thinking about a line being drawn with your nose, let's turn our head to the right and then round to the left. So you're just drawing a horizontal line with your nose, just thinking about whether one way feels easier than the other. It might or it might not. Just depends on, again, what you've been doing. If you've been spending lots of time working. We'll go two more times to each side. And final one now. And back to center. And just to finish warming up through our neck and shoulders, we'll go into a chin tuck. So imagine that you have a peach between your chin and your chest. I'm going to squeeze that peach in, feel the length at the back of the neck, and then smoothly look up and back. We're trying to keep our shoulders relaxed down our spine as we do this. So keep lifting it through the breastbone, tucking the chin in, up and back. Lovely, let's go three more times. And final couple here, tucking down, all the way up. And our last one, tucking down, all the way back up and back to center. Now just finishing our warm up with our spine, let's take our arms out to the side, fingertips just grazing the ground, and we'll just go into our single floating arm, turning it into a side reach. So let's start with the floating arm. Breathe out, lift the arm up, inhale and down. If you want to make this more challenging, add in a pair of hand weights, 1/2 kilogram or 1 kilogram on each side will do. All the way up, inhale and down, exhale up, inhale down. A couple more to each side, lift, lower, lifting through the breastbone all the time. Final one to each side, then we'll turn this into our side reach. A last one, and down. Now take the other arm up, and then we lift up and over to the side. Lovely side reach here. Restack, float the arm down. Onto the other side, up, over, take the weight onto that supporting arm, restack, and down. So we bring the arm up, reach up and over, little tilt of the head, over to the side, restack, down, and again, up, over, restack, down. Final one to each side, letting the shoulder come away from the ear, and last one, up and over, restack and down. Well done. Okay, so if you need to move your legs, you can take them so that their feet on the floor. You can lengthen your legs or sit cross-legged depending on what suits you. Also do this bit in a chair. So we're now going to go into our waist twist. So lifting through the breastbone once again. Let's pop our arms up, one on top of the other, elbows just below shoulder height. We're now going to start with a little turn of the head and the nose, and then start to rotate around. So lovely twist through the spine and back to center. So you can imagine you're a helter-skelter, your spine is the helter-skelter, you're just twisting around. So going from side to side here, twist, back, twist, and back. Lovely. And again, twist, back. Maybe getting a little bit further now as you warm up. Let's go 2 more times to each side. And our final one, twist, back, twist, and back. Popping the other arm on top now. Let's go again. Lovely little twist to the side. And just think about whether you've got more movement on one side than the other, and maybe if your arm configuration makes a difference as well. We're trying to keep our legs relaxed out to the side here. Good. Final one to each side now. And back through to center. Bring your arms down and roll your shoulders back. Okay, so let's move into some work for our legs and the hips. We're going to turn ourselves around. Make sure you have a lovely smooth surface to work with, otherwise it can get quite annoying and also you can hurt your heels. We're going to start by sitting with our feet on the floor and then just taking the weight back onto our hands. Now, depending on how your wrists feel, have your fingertips facing forwards, sideways or back. So just experiment with what feels good for you and try to avoid slumping down between your shoulders. I'd like to lift up through the shoulder blades and lift through the breastbone here. So just walk your feet in ever so slightly, and we'll start with a single leg slide. So imagining train tracks that your feet are going to move in. Let's take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, slide one leg away, fully extending that leg, bring the toes up, and then draw back in. As we do this, there should be very little movement through the torso, and draw back in. So it's quite an easy exercise to start with, but it's lovely for opening out through the hips. And it's a great base exercise for what we're going to do next. So you're working through the core, the power is coming from the hips, back in, sliding away, draw back in. Well done. 2 more times to each side, just like this. Final couple. Sliding away and draw back in. So now we're adding in a knee opening. So we're going to start by opening the leg out to the side, sliding the leg away, keeping it turned out as we draw back in and return. So you might find this is slightly more challenging. We open the knee out, slide the leg away, fully extending that leg, draw back in, return. So nice and smooth from side to side. Slide away, draw back in. Check your posture once again. Are you slumping down between your shoulder blades? Have you still got that core connection? Draw back in and through. Lovely. And again, open, slide, draw back in, through, open, slide, back in and through. 2 more times to each side. Open, slide, in, through. Final couple. Don't know if you can hear that my heels are squeaking on the mat right now. Draw back in and bring the legs back. Fab. Okay, so now we're going to try and do both legs together. So turning this into a zigzag leg. So we still have the same start position. So weight back on the hands, lifting through the breastbone, toe muscles coming up and in, and now you just need your heels on the floor with your toes up. We start by breathing in wide and deep into our rib cage, and then as we exhale, open your legs both out to the side. Then slide both legs away, rotate in and draw back in. Fab. And again, breathe out, open, slide, draw back in, return. Trying to keep your torso nice and still. We're aiming for 8 of these if you can. If it's too much, just go back into your single leg slides with that rotation. Open, slide. So I can feel that I've got this connection around my middle. slide, rotate, draw back in. Let's go 2 more times here, slide, rotate, return, and our final one, open, slide, rotate back in, and draw back in, and rest here. Well done. So that is a fab one for our hip mobility here, and hopefully you could feel that as you got a little bit warmer, you might have been able to open out just a little bit more. So now we're going to move on to a little bit of arm and shoulder strength. Now this is quite an intense exercise, especially on your wrist. So if you know that you're kind of quite weak there, I'm going to give you something else to do. This is called a leg pull front prep. So if you don't want to do this because you don't want to put that weight onto your wrist, I'd like you to go into a spine stretch forward instead. So for this one, we have our legs out in front of us, hip distance apart, flexed at the ankles so your toes are up, weight even through our sitting bones, and arms out in front with our palms down. You're lifting up through your breastbone. Imagine a beach ball here, and then we nod, soften and roll. So mobilizing our spine as we roll forwards, and then restacking here. So our legs are working really hard to engage and maintain this position. Breathing in, breathe out. I'll just show you one more time after this. So this is your alternative, quite a low impact exercise, but really lovely for mobilizing the spine and all the way up. Good. So that's our leg pull, that's our spine stretch forward. And now we're going to move into our leg pull front prep. So this one, we take our hands behind us. Again, choose the position to suit you. And we have our feet hip distance apart and our knees bent. So you can have your hands facing forward, sideways or back. I'm going to have forward right now. I'm going to lift through the breastbone. And now all we're going to try and do is lift up our hips ever so slightly and draw down. So breathe out, squeeze your bottom, lift your hips, and bit by bit you can try and lift up a little bit further. So breathing out, lift, keeping your knees hip distance apart and keeping your gaze going forward. You can feel it's quite a lot of pressure down through your wrist, so just take a rest whenever you need to. Let's go 3 more like this. Maybe start lifting your hips up so they're level with your knees. There's quite a lot of core going on in this one as well. Let's go 2 more times. 1. And our final one here, lifting up and lower down. Well done. Roll through your wrists and give them a little bit of a rest, because now we're moving into our leg pull front. You can stick with that exercise if that felt good for you and you want to increase your confidence and strength. Otherwise, we're going to lengthen our legs out now, bring them together and have our toes pointing up in the air. Taking your hands back once again, we're now going to keep our legs long as we lift our bottoms up. So you can think about lifting through the breastbone before you start, breathing in to prepare, and then as you breathe out, point your toes and lift your hips high. Then smoothly lower down with control. Let's go again. Breathe out, point and lift. Toe muscles coming down and in. Inhale down. I'm going to try and do 8 of these so you can work your way up to 8. Lift, squeeze. Keep your gaze going forward and remember to point your toes. Lift, squeeze, lower down. Let's go 3 more times. Lift, squeeze, and 2. And our last one here, lifting, squeezing, and lower down with control, and relax through your arms and shoulders. So come round to sitting and just give your wrists a really well-deserved roll around, going in each direction. Well done. Great work. So we're going to finish off with our 2 final breaths here. So just come round to sit however suits you best. Weight through your sitting bones, taking your arms out to the side. Let's take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, lovely stretch up. Reaching through your fingers, press the air away. You're going to go 1 more time here, all the way up. Maybe looking up and back, lovely stretch. Press the air away. And you can give yourself a clap. Well done, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've really enjoyed this session. There's a little bit of everything in there, so please do let me know how you get on. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye.